And good morning. You're tuning in to the City of East Chicago show here on WJOB AM 1230, 104.7 FM. My name is Verlie Suggs, the host of the East Chicago show. I have with me this morning Mr. Steve Segura. He is the director of Multimedia at the City of East Chicago. And we have with us also Ms. Diane Burns, Garcia-Burns, can't forget that Garcia in there, and Ms. Valerie Cephus. And we're going to definitely introduce them and the wonderful role they're playing in the City of East Chicago. But starting out with you, Steve, what's going on in the city? What new events are going to be taking place?
Well, we have an amazing little parade that's going to happen on May 28th. That will begin at Central High School, and it's basically the last day of school all-city parade. It's going to start at Central High School in the parking lot near the football field, right off of Columbus Drive at 9:30 a.m. And everyone's going to start lining up at that time. Oops, we got my phone ringing. Sorry about that.
That's quite an audience there.
And then the parade will start promptly at 10. So we're asking all schools to represent by having 2 cars or a bus in the parade. And it's going to go throughout all the neighborhoods in East Chicago. So make sure you guys, if you're a school, and I'm sure you all got the notice, they want to, cheer on these kids who are graduating, and it's the last day of school. The police department's going to lead the parade, and I don't have the route, but we will post it on ECTV very shortly. And I'm going to share my screen with you guys really quick. Well, we got a new newsletter coming up, the New East Chicago Life. It should be in the mail next week sometime. And it's going to talk more about COVID testing and a new gazebo that they built over at Todd Park. So if you're getting married or have, prom pictures next year, hopefully, the gazebo will be ready. It'll be at the golf course. I'm sorry, and it's beautiful. It's right off of the water, so you can take pictures there. And then the park department also got some improvements at the office. They built a handicap ramp to better assist disabled residents. And we just want to remind everyone to, it's springtime now. The grass is growing out of control. I know my grass is this high now, and you got to keep up with it. Or code enforcement may come along and give you a citation. I'm just saying. So just keep up with your grass. And right now it's time to just do any spring cleaning. I think the district by district cleanups are still happening. I'm not sure exactly which district they're hitting right now, but they're still active. That was Keith Selvey who called me earlier. And unfortunately also right now, all of our special events have been canceled or postponed. Just check our website and check our Facebook regularly. We're kind of playing it by ear, but right now everything's been canceled.
Well, Steve, I appreciate you sharing with us what's going on in the City of East Chicago, reminding our viewers and listeners to definitely come out and celebrate the end of school on the 28th. This parade will be going through neighborhoods, but also going by some of the schools in East Chicago as well, right? Yep. So people can actually go out there in their car and park and watch the parade go by.
And before I forget, if you haven't done it yet, please remember to be counted. The census is still active. They've extended the deadline until October 31st. And all you got to do is fill out the paperwork they send you or jump online and do it really quick with the code they give you. Our numbers are low right now in East Chicago, and I'm just urging you, if you need help or whatever, you can call our office, 391-8206. We'll direct you in the right way, or if you need help just doing whatever you need to do to file your paperwork. It's super simple. I did it, it's important because it affects our revenue coming to the city that we need for the schools, for road improvements, for everything. So it's important to do the census.
Great, Steve. Thank you so much. Now we're going to go directly to Ms. Diana Garcia-Burns and Ms. Valerie Cephus. Diana is once again back at the health department in the city of East Chicago being so blessed to continue to have the services provided by having their own local health department in city. Diana, you have just been appointed as the director of the East Chicago Health Department. Welcome this morning to WJOB.
Thank you so much, Verlie. I'm very, very blessed to be back with the city.
Great. And Valerie, your position now is deputy, or what position do you hold?
Pardon me?
She said, what position do you hold in nursing?
What position do I hold here at nursing, or what position have I held?
The health department.
At the health department, nursing. Yeah, I'm going to oversee nursing.
Okay, so
nursing
great.
That includes the immunizations, our communicable disease. So it's under a vast umbrella. It's everything. Anything involving nursing.
Great. So what is the direction that the health department has been taking? I mean, you still have Dr. Jerry Browning as the health commissioner for the city of East Chicago. You're now the director of the health department. What exactly has the role been with the COVID-19 going on?
A lot of my time has been, of course, with doing COVID, meeting with the nurses. We have another nurse that's on board, doing contact tracing, looking at the numbers, making sure that the numbers in East Chicago are pretty much stable, which they are. We had no new positives yesterday. We have leveled at 10 deaths since this has started. So we're actually doing very, very, very good. We're monitoring the progression of the disease. We're trying to stay on top of it, trying to make sure that our city is staying safe. Our inspections division, of course, goes out and makes sure that people are social distancing, that they're wearing masks, that there's protection not only for the workers, but also for the community. So we're doing surveillance. We're monitoring our numbers. We're interacting and networking with our community partners to make sure that East Chicago is safe, not only for our employees, but also for the residents.
Well, it's good to see you both not only are practicing social distancing, but you also have protections on while you're there in your office, I guess, I assume. Valerie, as far as you overseeing nursing, what does that entail?
Let's see, in the process, what I'm actually doing now, like I said, I talked about COVID, but it's not only just COVID, it's dealing with immunizations. It's our kids and making sure that they're safe, that they're being immunized. So we're concerned about schools and safety there. It's also about communicable diseases. It's making sure, so not only I understand that we've been hit with COVID, and that has actually stopped this process, but we also have to keep it going. So it's communicable diseases, it's everything. It entails everything, just trying to keep the city safe as a whole, not just involving COVID.
Right. So there are a lot of communities where we're finding that parents are not getting their children immunized during this COVID crisis. How are you getting the message out how important this is for them to still continue to do? So,
we, thank goodness for Steve, we have this Facebook, and most parents now, are on Facebook. We're going to be doing a blitz. Also, Dr. Brown and I spoke about putting, maybe posters on our buses, blitzing the city with information regarding making sure your child is immunized. As we come out of COVID, which we won't probably come out of it, we'll be moving into the flu season. So we want to make sure that kids are being immunized, be it if they go back to school or if they're in virtual school, they still need to have their immunizations. We want to make sure that our seniors also, are getting their flu shot and getting the immunizations they also need. We want to make sure that they are safe. And anything else that is available to our community, we want to make sure that we're here either to educate them or to guide them in the direction that they need to go in order to be safe as we go forward to the fall.
Now, I know at the health department, people have been able to go there to get birth certificates and that sort of thing. What services have you been able to continue to provide? And are there any services that were discontinued but will, start up again?
So a lot of the nursing services, they were, some of them had been discontinued momentarily because they didn't have a nurse on staff. We have reinstated all of the the services, the TB testing, the immunizations, the communicable disease testing. Vital records, of course, is still operating, inspections still operating, and animal control still operating. So we're up and running. We're here to service our community. If they have any questions, they can feel free to call us at 391-8467 if they have any questions or need guidance.
What has it meant for you serving in your community, in the city that you live in and grew up in?
Oh, it's very important to me. As the pandemic, as I watched this happen, and being born and raised here in East Chicago, I felt it was my duty to step back into the city and help guide our city and be part of the action plan that we needed to do for our community. So it's really important to me, and I feel like it's a blessing that I've been served with to do this for my community.
Great. And Valerie, Cephus, how does it feel for you being there?
Actually, you know what? I was actually born and raised here, and then I got married and moved to the West Coast and then back here now. But we both were frontliners. So I started out as a frontliner, and I've been in ER, served ER for 20 years. And what we actually witnessed and saw, what I saw, like I said, at times it was just heart-wrenching. No one understands unless you're actually there and participating and you're in it. And watching our community suffer and go through what they're actually going through, you have to intervene. You have to do something. We have to do something. And, that's why I chose, to come along with my good friend, because, we're concerned about this community. We're concerned about this community.
That's fantastic. I appreciate the leadership of Mayor Copeland and the selection of both of you to run his health department. Diana, I've known you many, many years and have seen you out there in the community, but also helping families who are going through crisis with loved ones who are ill. And you were there, I know, with Mr. Williams and others over the years. And so it's a blessing for the city of East Chicago to have two individuals who have the heart of East Chicago, inside of them. So I thank you for your service. We are talking to Diana Garcia-Burns. She is the director of the East Chicago Health Department, and Ms. Valerie Cephus, who is the director of nursing for the East Chicago Health Department. What do you see for the future?
Nothing but good things, Verlie. Nothing but great things. Nothing but great things for East Chicago. As we move through, and this is probably going to be our new norm, but it's not going to stop us here in the city of East Chicago. East Chicago and Mayor Copeland has big visions for our city. And Valerie and I and the employees of the health department were right here to make sure that, his visions and the city, we move forward in a positive direction. So as we get through and we reestablish a lot of the services, we would like to, and it'll be very different, before we have large gatherings with kids, and, it's not going to be able to be the large gatherings anymore, but we're going to try to go back to providing those type of services for the kids, for the community, for the seniors. It'll just be on a limited basis.
Well, East Chicago survived the lead crisis, so to speak, and what the children were going through and families. And now moving forward, you have a health department there where you can have outreach into the communities that you serve, which is fantastic. Are you finding that there are people during this COVID-19 crisis that are suffering from mental health issues? And what are you able to do as far as directing them to services?
Well, the good thing about East Chicago is that we do have mental health services scattered throughout the city. It is very stressful. And, me being a nurse practitioner, I still see patients at another site, and people are losing their jobs and they're stressed about feeding their family and no income. So, there's St. Catherine's, there's well, I was going to call it regional, but, you know, other facilities that actually have social services and mental health agencies that we can refer them to. And even if they need to call and talk, you know, to us or, you know, nursing division, just to get some idea where they can reach out or where they can go or what they can do as far as, can I go out and walk, or what do I need to do if I just want to go to the store, not only to the grocery store, but go to the store. We can give them, you know, that guidance also. It is very stressful for, you know, not only adults, but for children also, because it's not the norm for children to have to be in the house all the time and not being able to go out and doing all of their studies online. And it's hard for the parents, because now the parents not only are the parents, they're also the educators. And, you know, the parents are trying to work. So the whole household sometimes are very, very stressed out. You know, they can give us a call and we can give them some guidance and help, you know, if need be.
And we definitely want to share with our viewers and listeners, actually the location. Of course, East Chicago has a state-of-the-art brick and mortar health department right there on Chicago Avenue. Please share the location, share the contact number and hours of operation.
Okay, we're at 100 West Chicago Avenue, right across from the water tower in the Healthy Chicago building. The health department is open. We open our services from 8:30 to 4, but they can call if there's an emergency. You know, please call. 391-8467. That is our number at the health department. If it is an emergency, of course, that would be 911. If the health department needs to come out, you know, with police or fire, we are there.
Right. And as far as you being there, were your staff members having to work from home for a time, or have they always been there present?
Yeah, they're present. We are on site, so they're not working from home.
Great. And how many people work there at the health department?
Between the health department proper or health department and animal control?
Well, animal control is a little separate, but of course we want people to know that the services are there available for them. But for the health department?
There are 6. No, there's approximately 10. Approximately 10. We have one that's going to be retiring. So we're a smaller staff now, but we still deliver the services, really.
Right. So Valerie, how many nurses do you have to supervise?
So right now there's one nurse, and then we have a medical assistant that's actually with us now. We're in the process, like I said. This is a whole system, you know, that we're, you know, that guy is sort of restructuring. She will say, no, of course he's not, you know, but of course, you know, we're in the process of doing that. So one nurse, you know, that's actually covering COVID. Guy goes over that. I look over that every day. And then I'm actually off doing other things. MA, so we're doing immunizations now, trying to get all that up and going and that process going. But this is a full system. I mean, this is everything. So, you know, we're trying to combine everything. We're under this umbrella now where everything bifurcates out. So we have 30 different departments, but overall it's health. Overall, everything we talk about, everything we do within the city is health. It all involves health. So right now, one nurse, well, myself, and then there's another nurse, and we have a medical assistant. So we're trying to pull it all together now.
So how is that?
I also step into the nursing. They always forget.
Right, because you're a nurse practitioner.
Sorry, they always forget. I'm back there doing TVs, but they forget. You know, they're like, hey, Di, we got a patient back here. So,
well, Diana, you're like the nurse, the doctor nurse. You know, once you're a practitioner, I mean, you're like doing what they do.
I can do whatever needs to be, you know, done. I can get back there and help.
Okay, let me rephrase that. Guide the nurse.
So how is that for you working with the Lake County Department of Health and then the State Department of Health? Is there a collaboration going on right now?
We do, and we have an emergency preparedness, Nicole Dooley, who keeps in contact with the county and the state. So I pretty much let her do that. If there's anything that we need to jump in and do, you know, she'll let me know, but we do work collaboratively. we've been working very close with the state because they sent up their strike teams to do testing. The strike team is at Morton High School right now and Hammond, Indiana, doing testing. So, and they let us know weekly where they're going to be in Lake County or Porter County. So in the event we have residents that want to be tested, we can refer them there.
Now, I understand the city employees have all had to be tested. I assume both of you have been tested as well?
Yes, we have.
I've been tested as well. It's very uncomfortable, but necessary.
Yes, very uncomfortable. Yeah.
So as you have locations, I know there was a location previously in East Chicago and now it's rotated. Will it rotate back to East Chicago, or they just let you know ahead of time when it's going to happen?
They let us know ahead of time. We can request another. They were here at Central High School, and then from Central High School, they moved to St. Mark's, right there at Washington Elementary. So they were here May 4th, May 5th at Central, and then they moved to St. Mark's the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th.
I got
So
one.
they're in East Chicago for a week.
Great. Steve, you wanted to chime in?
Yeah, I just got a text message from, that's what that phone call was earlier. It's due to the holiday, there will be no garbage or recycling pickup on Monday. So that was
Very
it.
important that people know that. Definitely, because they'll be expecting it to be picked up. So will it shift to the next day then, basically? Monday pickups will happen on Tuesday?
Yeah, to the next day.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Our time is quickly coming to an end, and I definitely want to make sure we get everything out that the listeners in East Chicago need to know about the health department and any activities that are going to be taking place shortly there.
Now,
I'd like to say thank you to Mayor Copeland also for reaching out to the community, making sure that the health department is up and going during this very, very difficult time. It's a wonderful, gesture on his part to do this, because we're lucky as Gary is to have a local health department, to oversee their city. So, I give him, praise for that.
Well, I think that probably has a lot to do with why the numbers in East Chicago are so low as well. I think that they have been very progressive when it comes to testing city workers, and making sure the community is informed. And the results are amazing in the city of East Chicago.
It is. People thought that our city would skyrocket just because of our community makeup. And, we came in boots on the ground with the mayor and, monitoring and contact tracing and, making sure that people were tested, and, Dr. Browning reaching out to Dr. Box in Indianapolis to make sure that East Chicago was tested, because of, our community makeup, and we're the ones who are being affected. But, we've really, done a great job of keeping our numbers.
That's fantastic. Let me ask you one question. What services are provided for people who have disabilities if they need to come to the health department or they need assistance?
So we can refer them to who they need or what they need. I mean, if they need TB testing or vaccinations, immunizations, we're able to do that on a limited basis. But we have a great referral system because, Valerie and I, of course, have come from, a medical area from the hospital. So we have, we're knowledgeable of the referral system within, that are in close proximity to East Chicago.
So basically,
if they need, like food assistance, we don't have any social workers here anymore, but if they need food assistance or, those type of services, we can refer them.
Do you see a future of being able to contract with a social worker at the health department, or basically it's just easier to do referrals? Right now, it's easier to do referrals. We'll see where our numbers go. I'm trying to ramp up the numbers again because, there was a decline in the numbers.
on Monday, I saw the numbers just going right back up because I was given so many TB tests because, of course, people are trying to get back to work. They're food handlers. So I think our numbers will go up. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how many individuals come in that needs outside referrals. And then, I'll decide if that's something that we're going to need on site.
Great. Well, I appreciate you both coming on WJOB this morning. Diana Garcia-Burns, the Director of the Health Department for the City of East Chicago, and Valerie Cephus, the Director of Nursing for the City of East Chicago Health Department, and of course, Steve Segura, the Director of Multimedia. Don't forget, folks, the East Chicago Back to School Parade is going to be taking place on the 28th of May, starting out at Central High School football field parking lot, and going throughout the city and stopping by the various schools in the city of East Chicago. I want to wish everybody a happy Memorial Day weekend. Be safe, careful out there, and still practice social distancing. Thanks for coming on WJOB this morning. We'll see you next month.
Thank you so much, Verlie.
You're welcome, Diana. Bye-bye, Valerie.
Bye-bye.
Bye.